Good morning. Imagine it's 3 a.m. You've got a critical delivery and it's running late. It's delayed. Your driver's coming to the end of the hours they can work. And just to add insult to injury, you've got a compliance audit at 8 a.m. in the morning. Sounds a bit of a nightmare, doesn't it? But what if your systems not only tracked all these events, they could actually fix them before you wake up? Today, I want to talk about AI not as a futuristic concept, but a practical tool you can use today to make your jobs easier and turn compliance into a competitive advantage. I'm Adrian West. I'm a VP at One Avant, not One Direction. I would love to be in One Direction. We are a British software company, probably the largest company you've never heard of. It's about 2,000 of us. We've been going for 40 years. And what I'm delighted about is that we have around about 500 logistics customers in the UK and globally. And we also support 40,000 legal professionals who use our software every single day. And we provide sector-specific software. And that goes from around financials and payroll and performance and talent through to legal software like practicing case management as well. And unsurprisingly, we have AI embedded in all of the solutions we offer and provide it as a standalone solution as well. I thought I'd start with a fairly simple question. There's a lot of hype about AI. There's a lot of confusion around AI as well. And I love this simple definition behind me, where it talks about machines being able to perform tasks that usually require human intelligence. That could be decision-making. It could be problem-solving. For me today, think less about autonomous vehicles or physical robots in a warehouse. Think of it as a tool you can use today. And it's evolved AI a lot over the last 50 years. What is incredible, back in 1950s, Alan Turing posed a question, can machines think? And since then, we've all seen tremendous change. What we have seen is going to deep learning. Deep learning came around about in the 1990s, and many of you may remember when IBM built a computer called Deep Blue that beat Garry Kasparov at World Championship chess. It's remarkable. Then what you do have after that is deep learning, which is, again, more about how your phone can unlock by using your facial recognition. And then what we've seen after that, well, over the last probably 10 years, about 2017, generative AI or Gen AI came along. And you may have heard of it, and it's quite simple in many ways. It's about AI creating brand new content that's never been seen before. That could be text, it could be videos, it could be music, it could be poetry, it could be anything. And it looks and feels like a human has actually done it. And what we have seen in the last couple of years is something called large language models. You might be familiar at home. You might use something like ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini. There's quite a lot out there where it feels like you're interacting with a human. That's what LLMs are. And the future, well, it's a little bit unclear. We talk about artificial general intelligence. That means that a computer can do any intellectual task that a human can do. And there's some deep questions about whether this is really going to happen. Some people think it's going to happen in the next few years. Some people think it would never happen at all. Let's go back to what it means to us today, though. I think there are three key things that AI could help you right now, today, in your business. Number one, I think it's around about employee productivity. That's about AI can automate a lot of mundane, routine tasks that your people do today. That could be around compliance, it could be around reporting, it could be around the admin of your business. And do that today, and there's some great use cases out there already. And secondly, it can help you with operational efficiency. There is a sea of data in all of our organizations that we don't really tap into very well. And this is using AI to identify trends and patterns in your data to give you insight. And I'll show you a little bit about what we can do in this area. And then the third one is a real game changer. That's about innovative new products and solutions. This is talking about using AI to generate new revenues for your business. One example, DPD. they've done a great job. They used AI forecasting. And what that's enabled them to do is actually look at offering their customers precise window delivery times, or even same day. And therefore, they can charge a premium of 20 to 30% on those deliveries. It's a great way of using AI to generate income. Looking at some of the trends and what's happening in the marketplace right now. Everyone I speak to say, yep, we know about AI. Yep, we know we need to do something about it to stay competitive. We don't really know where to start. Or we're playing around with it and experimenting over here, but don't really know how to get going. And what we are seeing a lot, which is slightly concerning, is if you are using, say, ChatGPT at home, you come into the office and you carry on using it, and you upload your data, and your company data. It could be payroll, it could be anything. It could be about your drivers and fuel. You upload that into AI. That's not secure. It's like posting it on the internet. The AI can use your data to train AI as well. And importantly, you don't know where the data is being stored. If you use ChatGPT, the free version, the ChatGPT, your data could be anywhere in the world, not in the UK. So a real concern. One of the biggest takeaways to today, I'm a technologist, but one of the biggest takeaways today is think strategy first, always, technology second. What are the big business problems you're trying to tackle? What do you really care about? And then work out the technology plan to get there, not the other way around. Too often we get shiny new toys and we focus on what AI can do. Think the other way around, strategy first. And what we have seen is a lot of people want to use AI in the flow of work, the jobs that need to be done in your business. That's how AI should be embedded in those workflows. It shouldn't be some kind of system that you have to go over and go and try over here. It's got to be helping your business, your people, do their job much more effectively. Right, we've got there. I love this. This is an empowerment curve for AI. It talks about how everyone has a similarish kind of journey. A lot of people are on their starting point of the journey. When you get to that, a little bit of a eureka moment, that light bulb moment, where you kind of go, I get it. I understand how this could help me in my role and my business. Hopefully, maybe a couple of you might even have that today. But quite often you then get into a bit of doom and bit of doom where you've got this reality kicks in and you go, how do I really make this work? Because it's tough. And often it's about compliance that gets you when you're implementing AI. Don't give up. Because the benefits you can get from it for your company, if done well, are tremendous. Right. What I'd love to talk about a little bit now, and it leads on nicely to this annual report. We do this annual report every year. We interviewed 530 people and organisations, logistics companies, warehouse, logistics, road haulage. And this is what they've said. And it's been quite remarkable. You may struggle to see some of the detail, but the number one business priority from these 530 organisations, big to very small organisation, number one business priority was AI adoption and integration. Really surprised me. This was done in January or published in January. It was above reducing costs. It was above operational efficiency. And interestingly, regulation compliance was still in the top 10. Number 7, it came in there. And then when you peel back, what are some of the findings, what are some of the insights that you could apply? You look, number 1, as I said, is AI adoption. Number 2, as a real challenge we've got here, is skills gap. And that means we don't really have the right people with the right skills in our organisation today. You can see that as being a big challenge. But way down in 10th place as a priority was talent development. So what it's saying is we recognise we've got some big challenges in terms of the skill sets we have. We're not really taking seriously the talent development. And what that's creating is a workforce readiness crisis for all of us. And you then look at the next stage, which I found really fascinating. When they interviewed all of these 530 organisations, they said, how are you doing with AI? How is it going? And then 82% of respondents went, we are leading the market, or we are good as our competitors. Bold statement. I like it. You went, wow, when you again look at that and they say, well, actually, is that really true? Because nearly half of these respondents, 45%, actually said we only use AI in less than 25% of our business and work today. And there's a big disconnect from the perceived maturity of AI to the reality. And that's causing an impact that we're not actually addressing the issue about workforce readiness quick enough either. Good news is if you do have a clear plan, you do work through your AI strategy, you can leapfrog the competition. There are some companies that I'll share with you who are doing a really good job. And it's not just the big companies that have got deep pockets. So wanted to share a couple of things, if I may, a few examples of trying to bring AI and compliance to life for you. First one is I wanted to show you how you could use a GTP equivalent. This is One Advanced. So if you came into One Advanced and you had intelligent chat, this is sort of a very familiar looking kind of prompt engine. And for time, I've typed in a question. This is a real customer of ours. We were sitting down, they're based in Bradford, they've got 430 staff, they've got 130 fleet vehicles, and they wanted to ask the question of, what can I do? This customer wanted to reduce costs. They want to reduce costs this year by 20%, next year by 30%. They also wanted to improve their profits by 15%, but they didn't want to make redundancies. And they asked for ideas that could really help them. And what did AI come up with? Came up with 3 key areas. I won't go through all of them for the interest of time. Fuel efficiency, though, was one of the key areas. And it was recommended, AI was recommended, putting in place a driver eco incentive scheme, driving better for all of the drivers. So that would encourage, with the data, smoother acceleration, anticipating traffic. And what is remarkable, if you can read this, they're saying that that would deliver between 5 and 15% of fuel savings for that organisation. In this case, with 130 fleet vehicles, that could be over £500,000 of cost saving. Second one here at the bottom was talking about the empty return trips. For this customer, we calculated broadly, they had 32,000 trips a year. And we believed around about 25% of them were empty return legs. We thought if we could monetize half of those empty trips at £250 per trip, that could deliver another £1 million to that business. And importantly, this is just a high-level AI. We then started drilling into it, show me the calculations, prove it's right, where your data source is. And we drilled in and got a plan, which they're now trying to implement. This is available to everyone. The last one, and probably unsurprisingly for a technologist, was think about technology adoption. And it was talking about how you can take away some of the administrative processes around dispatch, around invoicing, around payroll, and automate it. And in this case, they had 5 people doing that job in their business of 130. Redeploying those 5 people to do other jobs saved them £135,000 per year. They hadn't thought about doing that. Yes, they do need to buy the software as well. That is, again, a few ideas. I wanted to now just move on a little bit. I'll show you a short video. I want to introduce you to Barry. Barry is a fictional person, but one of our customer stories as well, where he wanted to use an agent. And an agent effectively is an AI, a bit like an advanced chatbot. It's an agent that would do a specific task. And this was about taking all of the details about their vehicles, spotting some trends, and identifying how they could save some money. This is a short video I'd like to play.
Barry wants to assess his fleet of vehicles to identify any which are starting to cost more to maintain and repair. He has exported a set of invoice data from his finance system. He is using the nominal code field to hold the registration number of each vehicle. He wants to analyse the data to spot any trends or outliers. Barry's firm has used One Advanced AI to configure a simple intelligent chat agent called Vehicle Maintenance Trends, which allows him to upload his spreadsheet and produce an analysis. Throughout the process, he can be assured that all of the data uploaded remains private to his business, sovereign in the UK, and won't be used to train any AI models. With no need to write a prompt, the agent quickly provides an analysis that categorises his vehicles, highlighting those which have had escalating repair and maintenance costs in recent months. Barry can see that 4 of his vehicles have an emerging trend of costs increasing, and 3 of them are yielding volatile costs, prompting him to consider their replacement. These insights enable Barry to take informed action to reduce his risk and costs.
At life, got a clear plan of how he's going to reduce his costs. What did I move on now to looking at AI and the flow of work? And what I mean by that is, in particular, around compliance. And for us, compliance shouldn't be just a hurdle or seen as a pain. If done well and smartly, it can be a real competitive advantage. It can give you strategic enablement. And what I love here is that many of you may be familiar with the ISO 27001 accreditation. DHL were one of the first logistics companies to get it. And what that did was that gave them what I'd call a trust signal, demonstrate to their customers that they could actually ensure the data that they kept was secure. And what that did is it helped them identify some of the customers that are at risk of leaving them. So again, it reduced the churn by 15%. It's quite remarkable. What they also did with the compliance is look at increasing the efficiency as well by 10 to 15% by better predicting demand as well. So a really compelling story that DHL's done. What I was keen to do is just show you, again, another short video where we talk about introducing you to a risk management agent. And what Laura was saying was spot on about how important it is to be compliant, but how to do that effectively and not have it as a burden to your organisation or to you. It's a short video, again, showing how you might be able to use and convert compliance to competitive advantage.
The UK haulage sector is facing historic complexity, emissions regulation, brake testing, customs deadlines, cyber threats, and wage pressure. With escalating risks and shrinking timelines, manual compliance isn't just inefficient, it's untenable. At One Advanced, we make compliance workable. Our AI-powered Risk Assist tool turns risk, resilience, and regulatory burden into a strategic advantage, freeing operators to stay safe, stay compliant, and stay ahead. Risk Assist is your digital risk partner. Designed to guide operators and non-specialists alike, it generates fully structured, audit-ready, ISO 31000 aligned risk statements instantly. It removes the guesswork and gives your team clarity, speed, and compliance confidence. Spot a missing smart tachograph 2 upgrade. Tap Suggest, and Risk Assist returns a risk statement, mitigation plan, and policy narrative aligned to regulatory standards. Delayed ENS filing or safety test gaps. It flags non-compliance and generates corrective actions, like assigning a maintenance task or scheduling retraining. Shane O'Rourke, Director of Risk and Compliance, says,
"In today's climate, risk and compliance aren't just obligations, they're opportunities to lead." Risk Assist was built to solve a fundamental challenge. Organizations face rising regulatory complexity, but lack the resources to keep pace. This Risk AI agent empowers the entire business to engage, report, and respond with speed and confidence. At One Advanced, we're not just making compliance achievable, we're turning it into a competitive advantage.
This isn't just automation, it's enablement. Risk Assist empowers frontline teams to handle risk at pace, frees up time for your compliance leads, and ensures oversight is proactive, not reactive. Want to see how Risk Assist can future-proof your operations and lighten your compliance load? Contact us today and see how Risk Assist can start transforming your approach to risk management.
Available today to support you, and believe it or not, they don't cost the world. And I'd love to talk to you in more detail over lunch with Lauren as well. A lot of people ask, how do you actually start your AI journey and compliance? I think there's a lot of things you could consider. Really important to get your senior exec sponsorship, your exec and stakeholder alignment would be really important. Important to get clear KPIs. How are you going to measure this project program? What business benefit is it going to have? Get feedback loops and train your people. Get them to be curious about what they need to do. How can they help in this transformation? But the biggest takeaway for me, the number one, is about preparing your data. Getting your data clean and accurate is so important. Everyone's data is not great. Everyone. But there's things you can do to improve that data quality, because like the old adage, rubbish in, rubbish out. Doesn't matter what your AI solution is, what your compliance solution is, you will get rubbish out if you've put rubbish in. So that's the biggest thing I could suggest that you need to focus on. And then finally, wrapping up. We'll get there. For me, some of the really important things here is strategy first, technology second, as I said. That's super important, along with getting your data prepared, get your data ready for an AI journey. Have a look as well at the data sovereignty and security. Please, 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 please don't upload your data into a free chat engine like ChatGPT. That is not good. And know where your data is being stored, whether that's the UK or somewhere else. That's really important. And don't get left behind with AI. It's a bit overwhelming. It's a bit daunting. It can be a bit confusing. We're all kind of learning on this journey as well. And if you're unsure, go and speak to a partner. Go and find someone who you can trust to have that conversation, because that can make a massive difference to your business and your future as an organisation. And on 22 minutes, that's me done. Thank you very much, everyone.